Georgie, Porgy, Pudding and Pie kissed the girls and made them cry. When the girls came out to play, Georgie, Porgy ran away.
Recently, an elementary school teacher had a 5-year-old boy who was being evaluated for Asperger's syndrome. Classmates say what they didn't like about him, and then had the students vote whether or not he should stay in the class. He was voted out of the class by a 14-2 margin. What that teacher did was mean, cruel, vicious, and totally unacceptable. We cannot allow any child in the public schools to be so mistreated. But I have to wonder why. A person really has to be highly motivated to become a teacher. They have to have years of education. They have to spend untold amounts of money and go into debt. And they become teachers anyway, even though they could get higher paying, higher status jobs. Surely a person who becomes a teacher must be a highly motivated person, a giving person, who wants to do something for the future, leave something better for humanity by educating the youth. I would think that only a person with the purest of motives would go into the profession of teaching. So what would cause a person with good intentions, who's highly motivated, to lash out at a defenseless little boy and abuse him in such a degrading manner? I try to think about how it must have been for that teacher. Maybe she went home every night and worked on her lesson plans and had images in her mind of how she was going to reach out and teach those children, only to see her hopes for them crushed at the end of every day. I envision her watching with despair as each and every day her students that she can teach, that she is able to teach, fall farther and farther behind in the lessons because of one unruly student in her classroom. I can almost feel her frustration as she either lies or makes excuses to her boss about why her students cannot keep up. I can feel her anger as she reads online about how the U.S. schools aren't keeping up with other countries and about how the teachers aren't getting the jobs done. I can understand, as the little boy disrupted her class, how she might wanted to have just reached out and smacked him, how she might have wanted to just throttle that child. Yet the boy had a right to be there, and he had a right to be treated with all the dignity and respect that every human being is entitled to. So what should we do? How can we help? Well, I know that the handicapped children have a right to be in the school with all of the other kids, but how are we to take care of their needs and at the same time let the other kids get a good education? And I wonder, how do other countries handle this? How do they educate the children who cannot help but be a disruptive influence in the classroom? I think it goes without saying that I do not support any child being mistreated in that way. Yet I do have some sympathy for the teacher. Who knows what she had to go through before she got to the point that she behaved in a way that I'm sure not even she approves of. If anyone out there has any thoughts or ideas on what we should do to see that this doesn't happen again, I sure would be interested in hearing them. I don't know what the answer is, but in my heart I think that if the teacher is being put in a position where she cannot teach the majority of the students, that has to change. I am almost of the mind that there should be special education classes and special teachers to help these children, so that the good and highly motivated teachers can get on with the business of teaching the majority of the children who can and are willing to learn, if only the conditions for their learning were better. What do you think? Sam asks that.
Georgie, Porgy, Pudding and Pie kissed the girls and made them cry. When the girls came out to play, Georgie, Porgy ran away.